Good morning, my friends. As we move through this next week, coming up to the ending of 2020, much is unknown. Although there is hope for a vaccine, the timing of that vaccine and its availability continue to be quite ambiguous and changing, just as it is uncertain in what ways and how and when we will return to at least a portion of functioning as we were used to functioning before the COVID virus hit us. And this is why for the next part of our meditations, we will be focusing on ambiguous grief and loss. Ambiguous loss is steeped in the unknown, as defined by the word ambiguous in this case. Not knowing what comes next. Not knowing whether you should be grieving or holding out hope. It is a type of loss that feels as though, at the same time that we really cannot get away from it, we also can feel powerless and confused by living in it. And the ambiguous loss of this time occurs because we are unable to process through it. This kind of loss does not follow the classic stages of grief in terms of working through it. Those linear stages don't apply. And instead, the stages of grief become more like the steps we need to take to help us cope and move through this loss in a way that strengthens our creativity and resiliency. And so we'll be going through the 8 stages of working through ambiguous loss, in which we are all living at this time in mindfulness practice. So please be seated gently in your chair, noticing the familiar feeling once again of sitting just like that. Familiar, supportive, clear. The support of the chair is not at all ambiguous, nor is the breath in your body or the lengthening of your spine. So on the next in-breath, draw that breath up your spine and allow it to straighten your back and move around your body, going through your shoulders, up your neck, over the top and down your face, releasing any expression and releasing any tightness in your jaw, letting your jaw hang, even if your mouth opens a little. And as you breathe out anything in your body right now that you don't need. Any tension, any distraction, let it go down the front of your body and out through the soles of your feet into the receptive ground beneath you, breathing gently. The first stage of working through ambiguous loss is beginning to make sense of what has happened in your own life as you begin to process your grief for many of the losses that have come to you in this past year. Losses of income, connection, work, meaning, freedom, purpose, and significance. What part of the loss of normal has affected you most greatly? Take a few moments to go through that list in your mind and see what arises. What would you label the loss that has been most predominant during this time for you so far? What are you grieving? What are you missing? How much are you tired of even asking yourself this question? What do you notice in your body as you think about what has been the greatest loss for you so far that comes to mind? What happens in your breathing? What happens in your mind as you think about this? Resistance, powerlessness, curiosity, or something else? Mindfulness practice, planting the seeds of regular sitting in mindfulness on a daily basis, has clearly shown in research to be one of the most powerful ways to build resilience. The distress of ambiguity arises from the need to know what happens next when that remains unknown. And as mindfulness is the practice of non-resistance, we become able, in breathing and sitting and reflecting and releasing, we become able, when distressing feelings come up or uncertain situations, as we practiced some time back, we are able to sit still and breathe into the spaces in the body that contain those feelings. We become able to hold two opposite ideas at the same time, and therefore are more able to bounce back after being pushed and pulled and bent and changed. Mindfulness practice is where we can sit still, label, and reflect, creating space and time to develop resiliency. So bring that loss back to your mind, the one you were thinking about earlier. And as you hold that image in your mind and that feeling in your body, that aching kind of confusion or uncertainty, allow yourself to wonder, what is or can grow out of me from this experience? How would I like to come back from it? How would I like to integrate this new awareness into my life once this virus becomes more manageable? Many people are applying this to the simple question of, for what do I need to leave the house? And who do I really want to see the most among family and friends? What is most precious to me in my primary relationship with my partner? And how do I feed that once we are back to more of a normal way of life? This is resiliency. How do you want to come back? If it has bent you out of shape or into a new shape, what part of that do you want to hold on to? Do you want to continue this mindfulness practice once the virus has become manageable and the options in life increase again? All of the capacities that develop and strengthen your resilience are innate, but they need to be cultivated. Inner calm in the midst of storms, seeing options clearly, shifting perspectives, choosing actions, persevering in the face of doubt or discouragement or ambiguity. As you go out today, my friends, carry this experience with you. Carry the image or the thought of this loss from today. Continue to ask yourself that question. How do I want to come back from this once we have more choices? What do I want to keep and give away? These are the ingredients of resiliency: mindfulness, flexibility, and intention. Take it with you, my friends. Namaste. Amen.